সুমিত। আজকে থেকে আমি তোমাদেরকে গিটার টিউটোরিয়ালের ভিডিও দিচ্ছি। অনেকদিন ধরেই দেখছি ইউটিউবে অনেক গিটার লেসন ভিডিও রয়েছে, অনেক রয়েছে, ইংলিশে তো প্রচুর রয়েছে, কিন্তু বাংলায় সেরকম একটা ভালো ভিডিও নেই। আর যেগুলো রয়েছে সেগুলো একটু ট্রিক নেই সেগুলোর মধ্যে। মানে গিটার আমরা শিখবো, তা ইউটিউব কেন ফলো করবো, যাতে খুব তাড়াতাড়ি শিখতে পারি, স্টেপ বাই স্টেপ শিখতে পারি। তো দেখছিলাম কিছু কিছু আছে সেগুলো অনেক কিছু প্রবলেম রয়েছে। তো আমি চেষ্টা করবো সেই জায়গাগুলো যাতে না হওয়ার। ফার্স্ট আসি তাহলে আগে থেকে স্টার্ট করছি, যেহেতু তোমাকে বললাম। তো গিটার সম্পর্কে জানতে গেলে গিটারের প্রত্যেকটা পার্ট সম্পর্কে তোমাকে ফার্স্টে জানতে হবে। আই মিন এটা গিটার, তো গিটারের প্রত্যেকটা পার্ট আমি তোমাকে যখন বলবো ফ্রেটে এই ফ্রেটে হাত দাও, তার মানে ফ্রেটটাও চিনতে হবে। তো কোনটা আগে ফ্রেট, কোনটা আগে কি, কোনটা স্ট্রোক, কোনটা সাউন্ড হোল, সব কিছু তোমাকে জানতে হবে। ফার্স্ট পার্ট থেকে আসছি গিটারে, মানে কোন একটা বডি ফার্স্ট পার্ট তার মাথা।
Hang on there. That's not right there. That's language. Absolutely there. What is it? I think that she is went outdoors, says outside of there, and she probably to clean out it there.
Oh. Then why you don't go help mom?
Oh. I don't said so.
Again, your guitar sage here, and today we are going to learn about harmonics. Different techniques for using harmonics, not just your simple these harmonics, but we're going to learn what they are and how to use them, and just different ways that we can come up with them. Okay, so what are harmonics? Harmonics are basically little magic spots on the string, if you will. Probably more mathematical than they are magic, but there are spots on the string that chime, if you will, or that resonate in a certain way that if you don't actually press down completely on the string to where the string meets the fret, but to where in fact you just actually take your finger and place it right above the fret that you're intending on playing. So this is my 12th fret here. Get a pick. If I want to play this fret right here, or play that harmonic on the 12th fret, then what I do is just barely touch the string, so I'm not fretting it, just barely touching the string, and I get this chime type sound. Okay? Now, before you try it yourself, because I know this because I teach one-on-one students all the time, and the first thing they do is they hold their finger straight over this part. This is not the fret. That wire is the fret. You can hit it 1,000 times here, and you're going to get that noise. So save yourself 1,000 times from doing that. Scooch it up right over the fret. Okay, for the 12th fret, directly over that fret wire. I can't stress that enough. If it's helpful for you, take a little Sharpie pen and draw a little dot on your strings there right above it, okay? Because that's a little magic spot that you want. And now here's the technique for this basic harmonic. For the basic harmonic, on the string there's harmonics all over. That's when you just hit a string multiple times, like I just did, without fretting it, without pressing it down all the way. You can hear the string change in pitch, okay? specifically at the 5th, 7th, and 12th fret, there are some really loud sounding harmonics. So you can even hit one at the 9th fret, but really 5, 7, and 12 are your magic spots, if you will. You can hit multiple, if you will, hit multiple spots on the guitar like that as well. Okay, so 5, 7, and 9 are ones to remember, and remember directly over the fret wire. Now, here's the technique that you're going to be using for playing really crisp, clean harmonics. With the right hand, you want to pick hard. When I mean hard, I don't mean like going bam, just like uncontrolled. I mean a very controlled, nice snap of the string. So this is going to get you a lot nicer of a harmonic than a kind of wimpy little pick. Okay, you really want to give it a press down hard with your pick and let it snap off. Okay, so the technique is pick hard with the right hand, lay your fingers softly with the left hand. Okay, so I'm not laying my whole hand on it, I'm just laying my finger just over that fret, just barely, and just hardly touching it. I'm touching it for sure, but I'm not sitting there fat fingering it. That's fat fingering it, that's the sound I'm getting. Not very good. This one is from lightly touching it, okay? The other technique that's extremely important when you're doing harmonics is the second that you hit the harmonic, lift your finger up, or just a fraction of a second afterwards. This can take a bit of practice. I see people do it and they're like, and I'm like, no, you gotta hit it first, then lift your finger, okay? It's not, you don't have to do it immediately, but the sooner you do it, the longer that chime will ring out. Okay, so same thing with the 5th fret. Seventh. And the 9th, like I said, don't really get one out there. You've heard this in tunes, like for instance in Crazy Train, and it sounds so much better on an electric guitar, especially when it's got some distortion run through it, some overdrive. But you've heard this in Crazy Train, if you know the song, and it goes, so there's these like little chimey clicking type sounds, and you just don't hear it very well on the acoustic, but you can hear that one a little bit. Okay, so again, 5, 7, and 9 are the ones that come out. These don't come out as nice. They're usually a lot more volatile, meaning they're harder to get out, but they're kind of crazier sounding, so a lot of times they're a lot higher sounding or crazy assortment of overtones, and you can get some really cool sounds out of it. Okay, so that's our basic harmonic. And those are probably the ones that most guitar players have been privy to or been shown. But this other type of harmonic, of getting harmonics, is basically the same idea, but we're going to be using some right hand technique, and our left hand is just going to be playing notes. Okay? So, what do you mean by that? Well, this 5, 7, 9, and this is a lot of people don't know this. Some guitar players do, and that's great. Here, now you're going to know it. But the 5, 7, 9 bit is not just for that. Okay? It's for the open notes. So, the rule goes that harmonics can be played 5, 7, and I'm sorry, 5, I said 5, 7, and 9. 5, 7, and 12. The rule is that you can play a harmonic 5 frets, 7 frets, or 12 frets above whatever you're fingering. So if it's open, then it's 5, 7, 12. But if I'm fingering a note, say on the 3rd fret, here we go, 3rd fret, then if I go up 5 frets from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I should be able to get a harmonic out of there. Okay, now it's a lot harder to do because you don't have this in a great big old pick to get that out. But you can with the right hand. This is a classical technique. I've seen classical guys do this, and I learned this in classical school. Is that with your right hand, and as you notice, my right hand is a little bit deformed, if you will, cattywampus, because I had all sorts of, I got attacked by a dog on this hand, and arthritis, and a bunch of other stuff. So it's been through the treadmill, if you will. But I can still do this a little bit. That's why I don't play classical guitar as much anymore. But with your right hand, here's the deal. First finger at the 3rd fret here, what you're going to do is you're going to count up 12 frets. So take the 12th fret here and go 1, 2, 3. Okay? This is what we're doing basically. We're at the open position here in the 12th fret here. We're going to move up. 1, 2, 3. Get it? So for as many frets as we go up here, we go up that many frets here. So remember, that's not our spot right there. Our spot is the fret. Okay? So that's our magic spot right there. If I pluck this, get a nice chime out of it. How am I plucking it? Okay, this is a technique that takes a little getting used to too, and it's kind of an advanced technique. But what you're going to do is, with the first finger, you put it exactly where a harmonic would be. And with either the 2nd or the 3rd finger, you need a nail, preferably. You pluck the string. And then you lift the finger up. Okay? So this is cool for... So that's kind of the classical technique, if you will, for coming up with these harmonics. And remember, the world's your oyster here. Whatever you do, so I was playing an A minor chord, and then I was doing the form A minor up here. So that note is open at A, so that's easy enough. These next two are up 2 frets, so I'm going to go up 2 frets up here. First finger's up 1 fret, so I'm going to hit that guy, and this guy's open here, so... Nice, right? So you can play pretty much any chord in harmonics if you want. So that makes a nice like layer in the background, like on a studio track or something like that. Okay, so that's the right hand technique as far as that. Now there's another way that Eddie Van Halen made a little bit more popular, but guitars still, some guitar players know what he's doing, and some of them don't. You haven't kind of investigated this, but he does this little pop thing. And I guess he didn't invent it, but he made it kind of popular. So for instance, if I want to play this harmonic 12 frets up, by the way, back up a step, for everything we just did, we can do 5, 7, and 12. Okay, I'm doing 12 because they sound best on the acoustic. Again, an electric and distortion really bring that out. On an acoustic guitar, it's the 12th fret is typically the one that's going to sound the loudest. Okay, so back to this new technique. So, for instance, if I'm playing at the 2nd fret here on the 3rd string, I could come to the 3rd string here, 2nd fret. So this is my, or 14th fret, if you will. Here's 12. So again, let's do this. 12, because we're open. 1, and 13, 2, and 14. Okay? If you're back here, it's not going to sound good. If you're up here, it's not going to sound good. So you got to make this math work out 100% perfectly. There is no room for error. It just won't work. Okay. So now, here I am. This is the fret that I want the harmonic on. So you can call your buddy in to pick it while you do this, but that doesn't look very cool on stage. So you want to be able to do it yourself, right? So if I want to agitate that string, I can do this, or I can snap it. So what I do is, with this finger here, I go. Okay? So what I'm doing is, I'm kind of hammering this, kind of like you bump somebody in the head. Don't do that, it's really mean. But you can do it to your guitar all day long, it sounds cool, right? So at the 14th fret here, just snap it right over the fret, and actually let the string snap and hit the fretboard. If it doesn't, you're going to get this sound. Can't hear anything, right? That's the sound you get, but you have to have it snap against the fretboard. Okay. Now there's some cool things that can be done with this, like not very loud on the acoustic, of course, but you can do some really cool things with it. So you can play riffs down here, just follow it with this hand for whatever it is that you're doing. Okay? Wish I had the electric plugged in because it would make this a lot cooler. But there you go. That's a lesson on harmonics. If you haven't already, go to yourguitarsage.com. There's a great ebook there. If you like the way that I teach, check out the other few hundred videos that I've got online here under Your Guitar Sage. Go to the website there and hit subscribe. And yeah, yourguitarsage.com. Get that ebook. All right. Until later. Keep practicing.
Most this was how to physically is there.
This 579, and this is a lot of people don't know this. Some guitar players do, and that's great. Here, now you're going to know it. But the 579 bit is not just.
I wonder if it's 579. What else in there?
Hey there, rock stars, Your Guitar Sage here, and today we're going to talk about something new. We're going to talk about playing and singing at the same time. So playing your guitar and singing at the same time. I've got a lot of students that will come to me and ask me about this and are hoping for me to impart some pearl of wisdom that's just going to help them, when in reality it has to do with practice. But like I tell all my students, I feel like my job is to get them to a place that they could get themselves, but I could get them there a lot quicker. And sometimes there is information that once you have it, it brings you to a new place. So I guess what I'm saying is that you don't necessarily have to have a teacher to do well at your instrument, but you do have to be willing to learn. And a lot of times a teacher can get you there quicker. So let me talk about a few philosophies here a bit before we jump into this, because it has everything to do with your state of mind and how good you're going to be at an instrument. You might have heard me say before that becoming good at an instrument or anything, be it a magician or an acrobat or something like that, it's 1% talent and 99% work. For those people that don't agree with that, those are the people that probably aren't seemingly very good at something, or they maybe are good at something, but they don't remember what the process was for them getting good at something. I've seen it time and time again. I've taught hundreds of students over the years, thousands of lessons, and I've always seen, bar none, the people that get good at their instrument are not those that come in with a little extra talent. I was a little premature there. With a little extra talent than the others. It's those that work really hard. So, in my opinion, it's about 1% talent and 99% hard work at whatever it is, being a magician or an acrobat or a great vocalist or instrumentalist or something like that. Okay, so hard work. And also direction. Having the keys, and that's what we're talking about here, and why I'm talking a lot here, because this philosophy will definitely help you. So stick in with me here, and we're going to talk about some techniques. So you've heard me talk, a few videos back I talked about the guy in the circus who's riding a unicycle on a tightrope, and he's juggling. So we see people that seem like they have just so much talent, or maybe like a Michael Jackson or a magician who's just absolutely incredible. Well, these people did not get like that overnight. They got that way through just sheer repetition and sheer practice and a lot of hard work. Okay, so that's what this basically comes down to. But there are some techniques that will get you there quicker. I feel that that's the job of a teacher, is to basically get you there quicker. The information is out there in the ethos and on the internet and in books and what have you. So it's not like I'm inventing anything here, but maybe just making it a little bit easier for you to understand some things. And that's the job, I feel, as a teacher. Okay, so let's talk about some basic techniques here. When I'm learning to play a tune and learning to sing it, I break it down. So again, let's go back to that analogy of the guy on a unicycle who's juggling and on a tightrope wire. He didn't wake up and just start doing this one day. He was probably interested, probably saw another juggler, and decided, hey, I'm going to juggle. Was really awkward at first, and eventually got better and better at it until he was juggling all sorts of things and got really good at it. Probably had another thing that he was interested in, like unicycling, and got really super good at that. One day put the juggling and the unicycling together because the two were so easy separately. Learned how to walk a tightrope wire, went through all the trouble of falling and everything, said he sucked at it, just like you're saying sometimes that you suck on guitar. You don't. It's a learning process, and you're just at a different point in the continuum than, say, somebody else. There's always going to be people behind you, always going to be people better than you, no matter how good you are or how bad you think you suck. So, with all that being said, as we get better at these different talents, we kind of bring them together and start doing them all together. That's why you can see somebody like Keith Urban working a crowd, playing a guitar solo, singing, doing all these things at the same time, or a lot of other musicians that can do that as well. But that stuff doesn't just come overnight. Let's talk some specifics about how we might do this sort of thing. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to take the song Hallelujah, done by a lot of artists, but you've heard it before in the Shrek soundtrack. That sort of thing. There was a secret chord David played and pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? That idea? Well, let's talk about how we can take a song like that and play and sing at the same time. Whenever I'm taking a tune like this, I will break it down to the block chords, meaning I'll just strum the chord, sing my phrase that I know that's over that chord until the next chord happens. I strum that chord and sing my next part. Okay? Your brain is much like a computer processor, except it learns, and your subconscious mind can aid in this, where a processor can't. It can only do so many things at once. So in the beginning, you may not be able to think of several things at once. But if your conscious mind learns, your subconscious mind is sitting there watching and will learn this information and will eventually be able to do in the background while you're concentrating on one specific thing. An example of that might be if you're running with a friend and you're talking. Your subconscious is running for you while your conscious mind is sitting there talking with somebody. As a baby's using all their mental capacity to sit there and be able to walk. As we get good at this and we do it for thousands of hours, we get so good at it that our subconscious takes over. And then we can work on other conscious things like talking and whatever. Okay? That sort of thing. So think about that when you're doing this sort of thing. Don't give yourself too much that you can't handle it. So for instance, what I would do on this tune is I would strum the chord and I would go, let's see. So I know that that's my first line. That's easy to do. I heard. So I know I'm going to strum on heard. I heard there was a... Okay, so I get my phrase out there, and C, that's the syllable that I'm going to strum my chord on. You have to consciously say what you're going to do so that you know when to do it. So, I heard there was a secret chord. Easy enough, right? I heard there was a secret chord repeat that over and over again to where that's comfortable. There was a secret chord. Boom, you got that part, and you keep adding. There was a secret chord that David, so day, and I might even write it down, like a chord progression. I might say, okay, the syllable day of David is going to hit the next chord. I might write the chord over that. Makes it a lot easier. There was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. So, pleased the Lord, right? But you don't really care for music, do you? Okay, so breaking it down into those essentials, there's no chance in heck you are going to be able to do all this finger picking right off the bat if you're just new to this process. Okay, anybody who's doing this right off the bat has gone through these processes, whether they know it or not. They've had to break it down. They may not remember it, but they had to. No matter who's done this, there's no one that just starts off doing this. Some people are better than others, but eventually time and practice levels the playing field, so remember that. Okay, I might have to break this up in 2 videos. I think I'm going to have to, but here we go. So, there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Another really important thing is to slow these songs down. It gives you time to do the phrasing and all the rest. Okay? So, to sum up here, you're going to take your lyrics, you're going to write them out, you're going to write the chord on top of the syllable, not just the word, but the syllable that you're going